We are going to go to, we have a camera of one of the processions moving through. You can see the Patriot Guard.
This is 270 at Lockbourne Road. This is the ODOT camera here. As you take a look here at that procession moving, I mean, in unison. You can see they're just taking up the entire lane of the highway. Nobody's going to be passing that procession. They'll move down to their final location. I'm not sure which procession this is by the looks of that.
Perhaps this might be the first one that will be headed to Wilmington. We know we will see another movement of the procession on that camera as well. Again, as Kevin was saying, you know, it really is, he's absolutely right. The emotion of this moment, watching the flags fly in the wind.
It's a lot.
And families showing up and being so moved by the possibility of showing up in whatever way they can. But as you said, Kevin, a young person being there and able to see this for just a moment. We'll get back to Kevin in just a second, but watching these families embrace and watching this be important to them to see and view themselves.
Well, and for all the reasons. I wanted my son to see this, the woman said, and everybody has their reason, and it's not about them. Mm-hmm. It's about maybe teaching a lesson to the youngsters, or maybe just making sure that these families know that they're supported just by being there as they drive by.
And looking through another ODOT camera here, where we can show you 270 and 23, where we will see more movement of the processions. And this is a live look now of the arrival in Ashville. This is Captain Seth Koval and his family being received by the Ashville community. You can see the flags waving in the wind. And again, first, we see the sheriff's department helping to clear the path. Behind that, more vehicles, and then the Patriot Guard moves through. A powerful scene in a small community that wanted to make sure they knew where to stand and where to be to bring their service member.
Pulled off to the side of the road, flags waving there out of the pickup trucks. And this is one of our cameras on the ground there as we have positioned to wait and watch this arrival. Very near the funeral home where they will be taking Captain Seth Koval.
Well, from this view, you really see how many Patriot Guard showed up for the mission today. And this is just one of 3 Patriot Guard groups who are part of the processions today. And there behind the Patriot Guard, you can see the hearse arrive. Captain Seth Koval and his family arriving in this procession with Franklin County Sheriffs and now the Patriot Guard and Legion Riders who are joining this procession as part of the dignified arrival of the 3 Ohio airmen lost in Operation Epic Fury.
That was March 12th when that happened. The day that not just 3 families' lives changed, but a lot of folks who were close to them, knew them, worked with them, lives changed forever. Now here we are March 29th and just bringing them home.
Beautiful scene here to see all of these Patriot Riders making sure they are part of this procession, because it does have an impact, not just with the view of them bringing the service member home, but the sound is powerful as well. You can see.
Servicemen and antiques. They're on the side of the road.
People of all ages standing by. And you have to wonder, you know, the youngest there may not know what's happening, but they will remember this day.
It's a tough thing to explain to somebody of that age. And those are the ones that came out in support. How do you explain it to the children of Captain Koval?
We know his wife and son now begin a totally new journey, having brought him home.
And they won't be alone, and that's the beautiful part of it. They'll have support. It's not necessarily going to make it any easier for them in their travels. We have another look here from one of our ODOT cameras.
Look at that, Patriot Guard right there, moving through the community. We're not sure which contingency this is, but you can see it appears traffic has been blocked right there just to make sure that there's nothing in the way of making sure these families can get to where they need to be.
Certainly that is going to make the trip, as we saw, Ashville was going to be the closest, but Columbus won't be too far behind that. The arrival, Master Sergeant Tyler Simmons in Columbus, where we have a crew waiting for that arrival as well. And when they do come into frame, we'll take you there live as well for that look.
Really a beautiful scene, though, as we saw in Asheville just a moment ago with the community members turned out. As we said, Asheville is not the home of Captain Seth Koval. That's the area that made the most sense to bring him home before his final resting place. And so that's why that spot was chosen. But you can see the community still showing up and wanting to make sure they offered their support to the family. And you know that means so much for Seth Koval's family as they figure out what this looks like, this next chapter of their lives. And to see the community show up, the Patriot Guard show up, that means something to these families.
And they didn't know what that was going to look like, right? I mean, this was intentionally kept private from the moment they were received at Dover and transferred, and the moment they came home today to Rickenbacker, and whatever private ceremony they held and however that was handled, it was, I'm sure, with reverence and dignity that it deserved, but privacy as well.
Requested.
And only now that they are coming out into the community to where we are stationed and able to see how many people were out there, are those families for the first time now seeing the same thing that we're seeing. The number of motorcycles there from Patriot Guard is super impressive.
And you hope that that does something for them, offers just a little bit of comfort. We want to go to 10 TV's Catherine Simon there live in Asheville, where we just saw the procession for Captain Seth Koval. Catherine, what are you seeing there? What are you hearing from families who made it a point to show up today?
Stacia, we did see there were about maybe 20 to 25 people who gathered around this area to watch the procession go by, and as they did, it was really completely silent from all the people here watching. There was one family out here holding a big American flag as they drove by to the funeral home, which is about half a mile down the road, but really just a very solemn gathering here as they paid their respects as the procession went by carrying Captain Seth Koval. Stacia?
Catherine Simon live for us there in Asheville, where we just saw that procession move through, and in a beautiful showing of support from the small community there, as we've also seen some ODOT cameras showing the other processions moving through the state.
And her comments echoing exactly what we've been hearing from Kevin and from Lacey, and talking with some of the people that are out there to see this, given their own individual reasons and what they wanted to offer to those families just by being there and showing support. But then when the procession comes, it is quite a sight. It is moving. And there's silence, and there's just respect of what they've given. And it's interesting to see, no matter where you are and who you're hearing it from, pretty much all the same.
This was the view as they left the community earlier today from Rickenbacker Air National Guard Base. And we are watching through multiple cameras to see as these processions move through the state. But this was when they left Rickenbacker earlier today, headed north. And there were two that left Rickenbacker in this direction, two processions. And one will head to Columbus, one will head to Wilmington, and complete the process of bringing these service members home.
How about this look right here? I-71 at State Route 665, as you see there. Columbus police had blocked off the entrance to I-71. There were some folks parked on the left-hand side of that, just stopping and giving way to the procession as it made its way through, understanding the magnitude of what's happening here. So they're holding it up as they make their way through there, and then we'll release all those vehicles and head on their way. But that's I-71, a major interstate, north and south, runs through all of Ohio, and pretty much everybody knows what's happening here.
And have to understand, from this view right here, where you can see one of our processions moving through just off of the interstate. This is the procession for Master Sergeant Tyler Simmons, now making its way to the funeral home where his family will receive him. Some family there at Rickenbacker for the dignified arrival today. Extended family awaiting their arrival there at the funeral home, where you can see this view as they make their way a little bit closer.
This is a drone 10 view of that procession, and you're seeing the Patriot Guard there and then the hearse.
And perhaps Master Sergeant Simmons has been the airman that we have felt like we've gotten to know a little bit more over the last couple of weeks, with the openness of his family as they have shared more about him, more about the night they learned of his loss, but also the importance of service to Tyler Simmons. And they've been so open in this process and sharing what really is their grief journey as we see Tyler arriving to his final resting place, and the family there as well.
And you're right, hearing from his mom and dad both talking about his mom describing the moment when that door opened and you see who is on the other side of the door. And from both sides of it, you hear military personnel tell you that it's not easy for either side of that door to bring that news to somebody's doorstep. And just the crushing moment of life when you understand what that means when they show up there. But Drone 10 giving us this beautiful view of just how honored this Patriot Guard, how much respect they are giving to this family, and this procession here, two black vehicles there that just made the turn, one of them the hearse for Master Sergeant Tyler Simmons.
And Columbus really seeing Master Sergeant Simmons, he's one of Columbus's own. He's a son of Columbus, and that has meant a great deal in hearing from city leaders, community leaders here about the impact of this loss, not just for the wing, but for the Columbus community as well. Because he did grow up here. He did play quarterback for the football team.
Yeah.
He went to Columbus City Schools.
Yeah.
This loss is felt deeply, not just for his family, not just for the wider military community, but the Columbus community as well.
We've heard from countless people in the community that have come across Tyler, as they knew him in high school, and quarterback of the football team, as you said, and had his favorite restaurants and
His wing
joints.
dish, right?
Yeah, so,
These are all the things that we feel like we've gotten to know.
right.
And it's been so special to feel connected to him in that way. But the family, of course, preparing now to say their final goodbyes in a homecoming no one expected. Everybody thought their homecoming would look different from this. And today begins the process of final resting places for Captain Seth Koval, Captain Curtis Angst, and Master Sergeant Tyler Simmons, the procession for him that you see there live right now.
Tyler Simmons, they always talked about that smile, but he had a heart. He had a heart that would open up to anybody in the room. But sacrifice and service is why we want to bring you this today in honor of those folks.
And our prayers with the family this day forward as well. Thank you for being with us here on 10 TV Plus.